Good afternoon. How's everyone doing? Well, I'm glad to hear they're doing. Okay. We'll come to order and we'll start off with the presentation retirement plaque for Master Police Officer Angie Michelle Linker for over 30 years of service with the City of Concord Police Department. Angie, I'll meet you in the front here if you'll come on down. That's your new uniform, isn't it? That is absolutely permissible. Oh, no, no, no. I have one.
I don't need no microphone.
All right, Angie, this is really great. So, 30 years. That's amazing. I'm going to let everybody know what you've done over these last 30 years. Angie joined the Concord Police Department on May 15, 1995, serving in patrol, operations, and support roles. She was part of the elite problem action team, tackling major crime and drug interdiction. Recognized for her dedication, she earned her advanced law enforcement certificate in 2001 and assisted with a presidential visit that same year. Promoted to Master Police Officer in 2004, she later became the Center City Officer addressing downtown issues. A founding member of Special Operations Team and a skilled negotiator, Angie also served as a driving instructor, field training officer, and bicycle officer. Her community involvement spanned events like the Special Olympics, law enforcement torch run, and school programs. As a school resource officer at Central Cabarrus High School, she mentored countless students in earning a Hometown Hero Award in December of 2024. Angie, you have done such a wonderful job for our city. We would like to present this to you to remember us.
Thank you.
Let's just have a round of applause for Angie. Oh.
Hold it down.
Hold on, we got another one. So Angie, who do you have here today?
I have my parents and my goddaughter, my son, his girlfriend, and my wife Sheila.
Hello.
And friends and
Friends.
family that's
Could everybody stand who's part of Angie's life here? Thank you for all you've done. Would you like to say anything?
nope, I'm good. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Had a great ride.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I'm positive.
Well, I want you to stand right here. Chief, can you come up here, please? So, we would like to not only present you with a nice plaque, but for more than a half a century, North Carolina's governor has bestowed their highest praise and grateful appreciation upon citizens of the state by conferring upon them the most special award. Among recipients of this award are familiar names like Andy Griffin, Bill Friday, Reverend Billy Graham, Maya Angelou, Dale Earnhardt, Michael Jordan, General Henry Hughes Sheldon, and Bob Timberlake. We are now proud to witness one of our own taking the honor among the North Carolina notables and others who have given exemplary service and made outstanding contributions to our state. Angie Linker, it is our distinct honor and privilege to present to you the certificate inducing you into the Order of the Longleaf Pine. I'm not moving. I'm not moving yet. I got it.
She's scaring me with that camera.
I know she should be. She is. All right, this certificate reads, Josh Stein, Governor, reposing special confidence in the integrity, learning, and zeal of Angela Michelle Linker, I do by here present and confer the Order of the Longleaf Pine with the rank of Ambassador Extraordinaire, privileged to enjoy fully all rights, grants to the members of the exalted order. Among the special privilege to propose the following of the North Carolina toast whenever you would like. Ready? So would you all please rise as we say the North Carolina toast? Here's to the land of the longleaf pine, the summer land where the sun does shine, where the weak grow strong and the strong grow great. Here's to down home, the old North State. Congratulations. Yeah. And council would like to also, but sure you don't want to say anything?
No, I don't want to say anything.
Wow, all these years I've known her, and the first time she hadn't said anything.
But I am going to do non-traditional because I'm a hugger.
Love it.
If y'all ain't huggers, raise your hand or something.
If you'll come back at a later date and say something, you're more than welcome.
I talk all the time anyway.
Okay, again, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Continuing on, we have three more presentations come Thursday. One is the presentation certificate of application appreciation for John Howard and Maya Jones for their years of service in the City of Concord Planning and Zoning. Recognition of the City of Concord Finance Department receiving a certificate of achievement excellence for their reporting ending the year June 30th, 2024, and a proclamation recognizing July as Parks and Recreation Month. We'll also have, under department reports on Thursday, we will have an update on the Parks and Recreation Bond. That's correct on Thursday? Yes. All right, moving on to public hearings. Number one, conduct a public hearing pursuant to NC General Statute 158.7.1 to consider granting a 3-year, 85% base economic development incentive for Nicolock Paving.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Call on Sam from Cabarrus Economic Development to come forward and present this item to council.
Ms. Deason. Thank you for the opportunity to present this request. The purpose of the public hearing this week is to renew a grant that has expired that was originally awarded in November of 2023. Nicolock Paving Stones LLC is proposing a project at 3010 Newtown Way Southwest in Concord. Nicolock has been a leading manufacturer and retailer of premium hardscape supplies for more than 50 years. The project would include the manufacturing of concrete pavers, splitting of retaining walls, and other landscape products for manufacture and wholesale distribution. They have existing manufacturing operations in New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, and Maryland. They plan to create 30 new full-time jobs with average wages above our current county average wage. The projected investment is estimated to be $10,550,820 in real and personal property. This is a decrease from their projections back in 2023 when they were estimating $22 million at that time. City of Concord grant analysis is based on the estimated $10.5 million projected investment Nicolak is asking for your consideration of a 3-year, 85% economic development grant. Estimated grant for that 3-year term is $98,926. Net revenue to the city during that grant term is over $17,000. I'm happy to answer any questions that you all would have.
All right, any question from council? Okay.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you. Item number 2, conduct a public hearing, consider adopting an ordinance annexing 14.566 acres on Stow Road.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I ask Fred to come forward and present this item to council this evening.
Good afternoon, Mayor Dush, members of council, Mr. Payne, Ms. Kolchinsky, and Ms. Deason. The item before you is an annexation petition, case number ANX 0225. The request is for a voluntary annexation petition of one parcel totaling approximately 14.6 acres of land located at 4533 Stow Road. The property is currently zoned Cabarrus County, GI, which is General Industrial, and is owned by the City of Concord. If council votes to approve the annexation, a request for zoning to City of Concord I-1 Light Industrial will be presented to the Planning and Zoning Commission at their August 19th meeting. The 2030 land use plan designates the subject property as industrial employment, and the proposed rezoning to the City of Concord I-1 Light Industrial is consistent with the land use plan, and is also compatible with the surrounding land uses in terms from a zoning standpoint. Council should also be advised that the annexation request is conventional, and the associated rezoning is not a conditional district. So all uses permitted in I-1 zoning classification would be permitted. Go back. Sorry. I think I'm gonna slide ahead. Apologies. There we go. As with all annexations, both internal and external entities were notified and given the opportunity to provide comments and feedback on the proposed request prior to council's consideration, and no comments were returned. Similarly, planning staff notified adjacent property owners, recognized neighborhoods and HOAs by mail of the proposed annexation via letters dated June 23rd, as well as advertising in the Independent Tribune on June the 28th. In regards to next steps for council to consider this annexation request to adopt or deny the annexation, and if adopted, there will be a consideration before the Planning and Zoning Commission for a recommendation of rezoning to I-1. And I'm glad to take any questions the council may have at this time.
All right, any question from council?
How did we acquire this property?
This property was provided as a donation to us from Cabarrus
County.
County as part of their transaction from the state of North Carolina for what was part of the Jackson Training Center.
There was a junkyard right in there, but not this property. When I first looked at it, I thought this was a junkyard.
I don't think that's the property.
Okay.
Other questions? All right, thank you. Number 3, conduct a public hearing to consider adopting an ordinance amending Article 5, subdivision plats, site plans, construction plans. Article 8, using regulations. Article 10. Article 14.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Call on Kevin to come forward and present the staff report to council this evening.
Good afternoon, Mayor, members of council, Mr. Payne, Ms. Kolchinsky, Ms. Deason. This item is an amendment to the CDO, 4 articles of the CDO. If you recall, back in April, we presented to you some information on food trucks in downtown to get your input on potentially changing the requirements in the CC zoning district. You gave us guidance to do that, and as we tend to do to be a little more efficient, we've added a few things to this text amendment to try to clear up some issues in the CDO. We've changed slightly, just to clarify other parts of the food truck ordinance. We've also added some changes basically to clarify and resolve some issues with administration. And we really aren't changing too much of how we administer the ordinance. These are mainly just clarifications with the exception of 2 spots, and I'll mention that to you as I go through the presentation. We have also kept in mind, there's a part of the general statutes that says that we cannot change a zoning ordinance that downzones any property without notifying any property owners. We've gone back, we've researched, we're definitely not doing that. Again, these are mainly just clarifications. So we're addressing Articles 5, 8, 10, and 14. On Article 5, we have a requirement in the ordinance that says that the certificate of conformity with plans and specs has to be notarized. We're not sure why, other than it's always been that way. It's not required by statute, so we're proposing to take that requirement for notarization out. It will allow us to be able to record plats electronically here in the future. So in terms of food trucks, we are moving a section, you see the red strikeout, we're moving that to the next section of the food trucks where it more clearly should be. And we're also clarifying where a food truck can be parked. It basically says all operations with the food truck should be a minimum of 10 feet from the public right-of-way. One person said, well, does that mean I can't use the public right-of-way where I'm allowed to? No, so we're clarifying that. So the next part, just to let you know, food trucks are still not permissible in residential properties unless they're associated with a private event and there are no sales to the general public. For example, if you're having a wedding for your daughter, you want to bring a food truck in to cater an event, you can park that in your driveway. It's just like a catered event. We've allowed those to be done like that before. As you see, C is the part we've moved from the previous section. Now, the parts that have really changed Center City zoning district, as you mentioned in your April 22nd work session meeting, we will no longer allow food trucks in designated public parking spaces, publicly owned lots, or on public spaces unless it's an event held by the city or county. So, in other words, we close the street down for International Fest, you can park in a public space. We allow you to do that. Any other food truck in downtown would have to be in a private surface parking lot. Have to get the permits, temporary use permits like before. That really hasn't changed. We've just taken out those public use areas. Go back here. So we have another section that we always allowed churches, schools, hospitals to put food trucks in, although it was not specifically in the ordinance. They're similar to like a multifamily development where you have a lot of parking. They have special events like National Night Out, cookouts, CMC. Northeast has had food trucks there before, so this is one of those sections where we are just memorializing how we've always administered the ordinance, just to make it clear. We also have a section that we've added about food trucks for city and county public parks. We vetted this through the Parks and Rec Department, both cities and counties. If you want to have food trucks at a public park, you have to get their permission, provide documentation of that. You come in and get a permit, so on and so forth through us. So we're just memorializing something that we've allowed before in the code. This one, vehicle and bicycle parking, we've changed the nomenclature on the table for the vehicle parking. Daycare is the correct term. It used to be childcare. It's now daycare and preschool. We've just changed labeling. The one where we have actually made a substantive change is under the bicycle parking. We've had a couple of schools that came in. We've administered the bicycle parking requirements. We had an outlandish number of spaces in one instance. In another instance, we had a lot of spaces for a school on a collector street where there was really no way to get bicycle riders there unless they were to kill themselves riding on the collector. There's no bike lanes, nothing. So we found that to be fairly onerous. So what we've done is we've given the administrator the ability to waive the bicycle parking requirements. And we've reduced the number of spaces required for a school. We found out that Brian and Tim with the school board, they have a really good idea of how many parking spaces that they need. And we've also put a provision in here to give the administrator the ability to modify the locational requirement. The code requires the bicycle parking to be within 50 feet of a main entrance. We've allowed the administrator to be able to modify that requirement if necessary. So there's onus on the developer to show that they don't need as many parking spaces as we would normally require. And we have found out in certain instances that our requirements are a bit excessive. Last item, we've clarified the definition for an alley. The current requirement says 20 feet. It's always been administered that it's actually 24 feet because that includes the 2-foot curb and gutter on each side of the street to give you the 24. We've gone back and we've looked. We don't have any alleys that have been built at essentially a 16-foot width with curb and gutter to be the 20. It's always been that 24. It's just a change in the definitions. So statement of reasonableness and consistency, this was the top 2 bullet points were approved unanimously by P&Z without discussion. Your next steps are to approve a statement, either approving or supporting approval or denial of the amendment, and a motion to approve or deny the amendments. So are there any questions? All right.
Associated with it, is that how I'm reading it?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Or it has to be on a lot with a building with parking to accommodate it, yes.
Right, but if they have that and they're doing anything, any kind of event they're having at all, they can bring the food truck in at that
Correct.
time. Okay. Question from council?
I have one. Kevin, can you go to Article 10?
Yeah.
It's just a question.
Bicycle?
The next one. I
Okay.
think that. So who's the administrator?
The administrator
who
would be the
that
planning director or
Okay.
designee.
Okay, so it's not the developer is.
Right, right.
Okay.
It is-
I
it is-
I wanted to,
that's the
and then I'm
city.
thinking, you talking about school and administrator, I'm like,
Right,
well.
gotcha, yeah. That
Thank
would be
you.
the zoning administrator.
So under that number 10, the way we've had in the past as well as now, you have to have bike car parking for every restaurant has to have bike parking?
Correct,
Didn't know that.
correct. And this is a fairly, I'm thinking maybe 2018 when we did the Group 1 or the Group 2 requirements. They've worked pretty well for the most part, for most uses, except the schools have been problematic because they seem to be excessive.
Other questions? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, moving on, item 4, conduct a public hearing, consider authorizing submission of consolidated plan for fiscal year 25-26 to 29-30, and fiscal year 25-26 action plan for U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mary will cover this item for council this evening.
Mayor, members of council, Mr. Payne, Ms. Kolchinsky. The item I'm presenting is the consolidated plan to be submitted to HUD. This, as the mayor explained, does cover 5 years, and it incorporates our current year action plan by regulation. We're required to do an action plan each year, but every 5 years we have to do an action plan along with the consolidated plan that does a forecasting for those 5 years. To do that, we're tasked to obtain more information than usual, which is why we completed the Tri-County Housing Study of last year that was presented to council in August of last year by Bowen National Research. We also provide a public input survey to our Tri-County members. That survey was available from November of last year till January, the end of January of this year. We also provided a open comment period from May to June of this year, and to date, we have received over 5,800 responses. Those responses have identified the 3 main priorities, and those were the need for more housing, those are repairs, and also access to affordable housing, the need for more safety, and that doesn't necessarily mean policing to calm the police chief's fears. Those safeties were identified as more sidewalks, road speeds, more lighting, et cetera, and more education. And that education fell in the realm of budget and credit, along with small business startup education. The funding amount that is given in the consolidated plan does mirror what was presented and approved by council last month in the budget, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right, any question from council? Go ahead.
I got a tough one, Mary. Since the president signed the 26 budget a week ago, 7 days ago, I have not found any detail anywhere on the cuts to HUD and CDBG and home
Does not affect us at all.
at all.
At
Do they strip that out, the proposed cuts?
The final budget from our HUD rep does not affect our allocation. Our allocation was given to us approximately 45 days ago, and we are mandated to provide our con plan within 45 days. We have not received anything else, nor has our HUD rep. So we're required to present our con plan by the 15th of this month, and so we are locked in with that.
Okay, and this is not related to this agenda item, but do we know how it affected the voucher program? It was a 40% cut when it came out of the Senate back to the House, and I now don't know whether that made it through the House to the president. Do you know?
My understanding is that the voucher program itself was not cut, but there were some reduction in the number of vouchers that would be available. The number of vouchers for Indian territories was not cut, but the number of vouchers that would be available as a whole were cut. And I don't know, Della may be better to speak to that. I don't know if that means vouchers that can be pulled down as far as emergency vouchers, additional project-based vouchers for projects that are coming online, such as the RAD conversion, that I'm not sure about.
And the last big ask, this is for the next work session in 2 weeks. Can we get some details on that, either from our lobbyist or someone, the league, someone to give us a little more clarity?
Yeah, certainly we can work with our HUD reps to see what information they've gotten, which I don't know how much they've gotten at this point in time. I mean, that's a large bill and a lot of documents to cipher through, but we'll attempt to get
Try.
that information.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thanks.
And one thing that I will say, in a positive for the Doge checking, we were actually misallocated for Concord for our home ARP funds. They didn't give us the correct amount, so we actually got a little bit more. So our home ARP for the RAD conversion would be just a little bit more. 1+.
Thank you. Moving on to presentation petition request. Number 1, consider recognizing Christenberry Homeowners Association City's Partnership for Stronger Neighborhood.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ray Sean will present this item to council this evening.
Good afternoon, Mayor, members of council, Mr. Payne, Ms. Kolchinsky, and Ms. Deason. I'm here today to request that council consider formally recognizing a new neighborhood in the city Partnership for Stronger Neighborhoods program. As we all know, we have currently 80 officially recognized neighborhoods in the program, and 57 of those neighborhoods are considered active. The neighborhood I'm looking to recommend today is Christenberry Hall HOA. Christenberry Hall is a gated private section of the Christenberry neighborhood, and that neighborhood currently has 2 HOAs, Christenberry Hall and Christenberry Master Association. The Christenberry Master Association is already a member and a recognized neighborhood in our program. Christenberry Hall completed an application to be a separate neighborhood, separate from the entire community. So today, after completing the application requirements, Christenberry Hall Homeowners Association is requesting that council consider formally recognizing their neighborhood. And if we do approve them into the program, we'll have 81 recognized neighborhoods, and 58 of those will be considered active. We do have one member of their HOA leadership, the treasurer, Jay Lee, is here, if there's anyone that has any questions for him.
Very good. Any questions? So thank you for being here. Thank you, Mayor. Yes.
Thank you.
And we will welcome you on Thursday as we have our vote. So thank you very much. All right. Number 2, consider authorizing city manager to negotiate and execute a contract with Sealand Corporation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Dirk has items 2 and 3 to present to council this evening.
Good afternoon, Mayor, members of council, Ms. Payne, Mr. Payne, Ms. Kolchinsky, Ms. Deason. You have a request in front of you regarding a contract with Sealand Contractors Corporation for the repair and rehabilitation of Apron Taxi Lane at Concord Patrick Regional Airport. This project is funded through FAA. We've received finally 2 bids in the amount of $2,650,000.00. The engineer's estimate was $4,039,840, which obviously is a delta of about $1.3 million. We did review that and determined that the bid is valid. Our engineer's estimate, there was a variance in the actually cold milling. Their cost per square foot was $22, and the contractor was at $5 per square foot. So we're asking for approval of that contract.
I noticed there's a line here that the project being funded is 95% by grants,
Yes, sir.
so we pay 5% of that?
Yes, sir.
Lloyd made sure that we recognize that, so, thank you.
Well, I got one for Dirk.
Yeah.
This is a new one for me. Who actually administers and oversees this contract? Is that our people, or is it something?
No, that's actually, we have a contract administration with TB&E.
Okay, and they're responsible for the actions of the contractor?
Oh, yes, sir.
Not us?
Oh, yeah, yes, but we do have people on site, including our airport project manager, and then yours truly out there to ensure that things are delivered on time.
Okay, watch them.
Very good. Any more questions?
I think that's my same question. Is there a start date and an end date that's reliable?
Yes, so this is obviously through federal grants. The grant is in process, so the bid obviously needs to be approved and the city authorizes.
Sure.
Once we issue a notice to proceed, we have our team reviewing, ensuring that the requirements that are set forth. Sealand has been a contractor. Back in 2018, they did the rehabilitation of the runway project, which is about $10 million.
And that was done timely?
Yes. Now, there was a little issue with weather, but
Well,
overall,
weather's one
yes.
thing.
I understand where council's going with this, but I can assure you, since it's a federally funded project and there's issues with our tenants, because we have to actually ensure that our tenants are either stayed in the hangar itself. So we work very carefully with our tenants as well as with the contractor.
Okay, great.
All right. Item 3, consider authorizing city manager to negotiate and execute a contract with Talbot Bright Ellington.
Yes, sir. So this is contract administration for the North Apron roadway. This is a project that is funded through NCDOT, the Transportation Reserve Funds. And this will be part of the construction administration for this. Contracts have already been signed with Mountaineer LLC, and so we're just asking authorization and agreement with them so we then can issue the notice to proceed with the contractor.
All right. Question from council? No question. Thank you, Dirk.
Thank you.
Number 4, consider awarding a bid to Wesco for the amount of $402,013 for steel transmission poles.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So Alex has items 4 and 5 to present to council this evening.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Mayor, members of council, Mr. Payne, Ms. Kolczynski, Ms. Deason. On June 12th, the electric department took bids for 20 new steel poles for the new 100 kV tie line that goes along Rock Hill Church Road. This is to connect the 100 kV Delivery 4, which is behind Ben Minette, to Substation E. Substation E is on Rock Hill Church Road there in the curve across from the church. Wesco was the lowest responsive bidder at $402,013.72. Is there any questions?
Question from council? Okay, number 5, consider purchasing 65,600 feet of primary conductor.
Yes, sir. On June 12th, the warehouse received a quote for some stock cable to replenish some supplies that had been used on 2 very large projects and for an upcoming substation. The warehouse was quoted 500 and 750 copper underground cable. Again, this is all normal warehouse stock for us. Wesco again submitted a quote through the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Agreement in the amount of $959,939.80. Again, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
What do you see on the price of this?
Sir?
The price of this?
It's actually on the 500 and 750. It's actually came down just a little bit. It's, I have all that right here. The 500 was, last time we purchased it was $22.72. Now it's $20.35, so it's came down about $2.50. And the 750s came down from 33 to 29. So it's came down about $4.
Okay. Roughly 10 to 15%. All right. Any question from council?
Yeah, Alex, is this stock that you use under your general operations, or is this projects that you know you need these footages and you're going to put it into new projects?
The two big shell buildings are already under construction, and we knew that the substation exits are coming up is for Substation N in Copperfield. And that thing sits way back off of Vinehaven Drive, so
Right.
all of those exits are underground. And you know that when just because you got one cable, it takes three, right? So it eats it up really, really fast.
So this isn't stock, you have projects, this is going in the ground.
Yeah, it's going, well, it's to replace
Soon.
cable in the warehouse that we've already put in the
That you
ground or
reuse.
fixing to put in the ground. And we've already checked that out because the lead times have gotten so long that we didn't want to wait till the project was ready, check it out, and then not then be out for that long. So we went ahead and checked the cable out. So this is replenishing that, yes, sir.
All right. Any more questions?
Just out of curiosity, what is the lead time? Was it, okay. I'll go
Well-
back and look.
Yeah,
I'm
it
just
was,
curious. I didn't-
it came down a ton.
I was too busy looking at those numbers.
Customer delivery date is December of this year. I'm sorry, October of this year, I'm sorry. 10/20 of '25.
I think
So it'll be here in
that's
October.
And you
That
said
was one thing with doing it with the Sourcewell, Wesco was able to, manufacturers have slots in the warehouse, like slots, so they knew that they could get that cable in there and get it produced for us. And we use tape shield cable too, it's not concentric neutral, so it's very specific to us.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Number 6.
Thank you,
consider-
guys.
Okay, that's, now we're moving on to number 6. Thank you. Consider authorizing city manager to negotiate and execute a contract with Edifice Construction.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moving forward with this exciting project, Rick is going to provide some information to council this evening on us moving forward very soon on it.
Mayor Dush, members of council, Mr. Payne, Ms. Kolczynski, Ms. Deason. Before you is an item for the design services for the proposed new communication building. So the City of Concord Communication Department, Emergency Management, and the city's Emergency Operations Centers, or EOC, primarily operate out of our Station 3, and they are in tight quarters there. The plan is to construct a new facility, 9,100 square feet, single-story building that will provide space for the communication, for emergency communication staff and EOC operations. The proposed location for this new building will be at the site of Fire Station 3. The building will be constructed on the design-build delivery system. We advertise for qualifications, and we received 8 submittals from design-build teams. We had a panel that reviewed all the applications and selected 3 of them for interviews, in-person interviews. After that, the panel decided that the team of Edifice and ADW was the better suited for the project and most qualified. So as is required by this delivery system, we have asked this team, design-build team, to provide with a proposal to provide construction and pre-construction services. And they have submitted a proposal for $579,000 and $274. So our recommendation for staff is for council to consider this and approve so we can get moving with this project.
Right.
Any questions?
Question from council? Okay. Thank you. Item 7, consider authorizing city manager to negotiate and execute a contract with Kleinfelder to perform construction materials testing.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So Jackie is actually going to cover items 7, 8, 9, and 10 on the regular agenda. So Jackie, if you would.
Good afternoon, Mayor, members of council, Mr. Payne, Ms. Kolczynski, and Ms. Deason. This afternoon, we are asking for permission to move forward with material testing for the Ramsor Park. There's special inspection and material testing that will need to be conducted. by Kleinfelder. We did an RFQ, and we had 7 firms submit. The panel selected Kleinfelder as the most experienced and qualified. So their proposal is $225,000 for construction material testing and inspections for Ramseur Park. I'd be happy to take questions.
Any questions from council? All right, moving on to item 8, consider accepting a preliminary application from Gilberto Jimenez.
In accordance with City Codes, Chapter 62, Gilberto Ramirez has submitted a preliminary application for water service outside the city limits. The property is 4744 Rufus Court. It's a 2.74 acre parcel. It's zoned County LDR and is located within Area B. The owner wishes to build 1 single-family home, and sewer is not available.
Okay, question from council? All right. Item 9, consider accepting a preliminary application from Thomas Bryan and Julia S. Dwiggins.
Okay, this one is for sewer service at 1007 Mistywood Lane in Concord. This is a 4.52 acre parcel. It's zoned County LDR within Area B. There's an existing septic tank on the property which is failing, and the owner wished to attach to the public gravity sewer, which is available through a utility easement that extends through the parcel. Water is not available.
Refresh my memory, Area B.
I'm sorry?
Area B.
Yes.
Refresh my memory on where that is.
I don't have a map handy, but it's kind of this.
Okay. Yeah, okay, got it. Thank you. Any questions? Yeah. All right. We'll move on to item 10, consider accepting preliminary application from J2 Land Investments LLC.
Okay. This one is at 336 Patience Drive. This is a 0.66 acre parcel, zone County AO within Area A. Sewer is not available to this parcel, and staff has coordinated with Cabarrus County to get approval to submit this preliminary application to council.
Okay. Question from council? I know where Area A is.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. No questions? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have no one who's brought up questions about consent agenda. Is there anything would like to be removed from consent agenda?
Yes, Mayor. Item E is in Eagle.
Okay.
Roundabout Weddington and Rock Hill Church. This is something I support. This is something that came up back in early '23 between myself and DOT and Phil Graham. I'd like to move that to a little bit of a presentation Thursday night, just with where the funding goes next, our possibilities, when the call for funding is, just a short presentation. I'm quite excited that we got one victory in 7.5 years, and I'd like to vote on it.
Okay, so we would like to move that to item 11. Council okay with that? All right. Do we have to vote? We have to vote, do we? Okay, is there a motion to move that to item E to item 11 of the agenda? Yeah, we got to make a motion.
So I move what you said, to move it to number 11.
A motion second, ready to vote. All in favor, raise your hand. Thank you very much. Nothing else we have except for going to a short closed session. So move that we go into closed session pursuant to NC General Statute 143, 318, 11A, and 3 in order to consult with an attorney to protect client attorney privilege. Is there a motion? Second. Motion second, ready to vote. All in favor, raise your hand. Thank you very much. So everybody have a good evening. 44 minutes.